All right, everyone. We are back on YouTube with the Interview Diaries, and with us is Kim Berrios Lynn. How are you, Kim?
Hi, I'm
Hello,
well,
great to have you.
Nicole. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming.
Of course.
Kim is a wonderful actress who took part in two plays in COVID and Cigarettes, Home 3 and Choices. Kim has been very busy with various projects lately, including the Carula's Dream Show Live. Did I say that correctly?
You did, yeah.
Excellent. So, Kim, tell us about what you've been working on lately and what's been happening with you. You've always been like super busy. We want to know more about you.
Sure, yeah. Well, as everyone knows, the industry in general has changed and theater has been closed down, but there's a lot happening on Zoom or, virtually. As for, my usual life used to be just going into the city and auditioning a lot, which, isn't happening. Everything's virtual. But we are seeing TV pick back up again. And, you're just, instead of being in a room, you're in your own room and you're auditioning with a casting director or their assistant on Zoom or sending a million self-tapes. But so it's still happening. There still is the sense of community, just not in a physical room anymore. But as for virtual projects, I'm grateful for them. I'm so grateful for COVID and Cigarettes because Nicole, you and I get to work on a project. We've got to work on a project from different time zones. And this is the first time since we met years ago in the States. So that's amazing. The reach that theater has now. And it proves that theater will be alive no matter what. I'm looking forward to, the theaters opening again and everything, but it's the actors and it's the communities that make the theater. And so, so I got to work on COVID and Cigarettes on those two plays. Also, I'm a part of a theater group called Playful Substance. Brie O'Connor, Nicole. And that we did a collaboration with the National Yiddish Theater, where 9 international theater groups came together and did the play It Can't Happen Here. And that was also something I would have never been able to experience if it hadn't been in COVID. We were, again, in different countries and somewhere in the States. There were some, I believe there was one in Italy. There was really amazing theater companies came together to put that piece together, which was really relevant to the times. And let's see what else. Carula's Dream Show Live, as you mentioned.
Love it. Love it. Can I be part of it sometimes? Can I?
Yes.
That. Can I show up?
Yes, you can just be a caller. So that was the beauty of it. I'll give a quick rundown of what it is to
Please.
So it's Carula is the first iteration of it was the pilot, and we did it with Theater East, which is a really cool theater company in the city. Julia Ray Maldonado is the writer, and she's also a part of Theater East, and they do this series called 5 by 5, where they go to each borough. And this year they couldn't do that, so it was all virtual. And Carula's Dream Show Live, written by Julia Ray Maldonado and directed by Bianca Porto, two of my dear friends, happen to be two of my dear friends. We actually went to grad school together at the Actors Studio Drama School. Carula's Dream Show Live is about Carula, who is in lockdown, and she was given the gift of sight. So she's able to see, and she's this beautiful, wacky, spiritual woman who interprets dreams. And so the cool thing about the show is that it's scripted. We had a lot of people watching didn't know, or some people thought Carula was real because she has her own Instagram account, which was cool. I've interacted as Carula with people who were watching the show. And so it had a 5-episode arc, and it's scripted, but then there's a lot of room for improv, including callers that call in. There's songs that I would the cool thing about the collaborative process was that the director and writer were like, sure, just go for it. So Carula, I would write songs on my ukulele and we'd sing them. a lot of the callers that called in were completely improv. And it was just a lot of fun. And it was just like COVID and cigarettes. It was just nice to say, okay, we have a rehearsal and a show, you know, or with COVID, like I got to wake up with COVID and cigarettes, I got to wake up and start my day with a rehearsal with beautiful artists in Hong Kong. So, you know, we got to do that. And oh gosh, I'm going on and on. Oh, I'm part of a group called Barefoot Theater Company. And we did some readings in the beginning of this, and also did like a writer's group. So yeah, I feel like the community is still alive and bustling, you know, as long as we're open and in a place where like we can be there and can feel like, because I know there were many times, I don't know if you ever felt this, like closed off. So, you know, I think like as long as the artist feels like it's an okay time and is open to it, and there's a community there for us.
I agree. That's why I wanted to do something, and I threw out the idea. I threw it out there. If we were to do something online involving whomever wants to be involved, would there be people interested? Would there be people willing to give it a go? So I said, okay, let's just try and see. And we were so grateful to have people like you to be willing to work with us. And, you know, we met many years ago in New York / Connecticut. Yeah. When I actually met you officially, we were already in Connecticut soil, and we bonded over animal impressions.
Yes. That was one of my fondest moments. Yeah.
Exactly. And ever since we said, oh, we should collaborate, we should do this, we should do that. There was always the willingness to do it. But how do you bridge Hong Kong and New York? It's far, it's very different. It's, you know, it would be great to do something in New York / Hong Kong, but how do you do it? That is in a way that is cost effective and, you know, quick and easy to do. So we like thought about this, and then this year we had the answer. Who knew? Who would have thought?
I know. Yeah, that some like beauty can come of it. And I think that like this most definitely has been, I mean, it's the loss that we've had from COVID has been just awful, but like the beauty that has come from it is like, I feel like we've had time to sit down and reflect and like, you know, they have time with our families and think about what really matters. And I don't know an artist who hasn't felt like the art in us keeps us alive and it keeps the world going. Right. And so I'm just grateful for that. And like that we can finally connect, you know?
Exactly. And, you know, Karula has actually kept me company sometimes in the morning when I go to the bathroom and I do my makeup and I shower and I do my thing. And I'm like, yeah, I could listen to music, but I actually want to watch something. So I put my phone there while I do my makeup.
That makes me so happy.
And you guys like entertain me for like that moment. Like I do my makeup and I go like, oh, like one time, like I laughed so hard that I almost stick like the mascara straight into my eye.
Oh my gosh, that makes me not that you almost hurt yourself. That just makes me so happy.
I tell you what bit it was. It was the bit with you and your mother who goes to Annabella.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, it could, because there was that the 5 episode arc, like there was some real gritty story. There was a storyline there. And yeah, that Paola Pizzi, who is she's a lab member. I love her so much. I love her so much. Yeah.
Everyone's great there. Everyone is great.
Everyone was allowed to bring themselves to it. So Paola was scripted and Annabella was scripted, but Annabella, who was played by Kate T. Billingsley, she was also alumni and actually I think she's still teaching at the Actor Studio. We all kind of knew each other, right? And so like we already had that thing. And so, but Kate like had her own, like she was also posting as Annabella on her own account. And so like this is the whole thing was very alive. We took a little bit of a hiatus because we just needed to take a breath, and there was
Yeah.
holidays as well, but we're definitely going to come back and think about like what that means. But I feel like that's another thing with COVID. It's like, we needed comedy, right? Like we just needed to
No,
laugh.
absolutely.
We just needed to laugh. And so anything with comedy, I was just so happy to do. And Karula obviously was that.
By the way, whatever lipstick Annabella wears, I want
Oh my
it.
God.
Can you guys
I
disclose
know.
it?
I'll ask her. I know my in-laws would tune in every week. And some of what I'd said, you know, what Karula would say was kind of racy, but they loved it. And the first time Annabella came on, they're like, is she a model? She's gorgeous.
She's very beautiful. Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah. No, that it's so funny. And I've been wondering whether it was like scripted or a bit improv or like maybe a combination of both. And the cat.
My cat.
I want more. I want more of the cat. Please include more. Like,
the cat
we have
has
to
a voice. I'm not sure if you saw any of the cat is voiced by Jeff Gorsica. He's like a great voiceover actor. So I'll have to send it to you after this. We did some things with my cat, Captain Bananas, who was voiced over by this actor. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
No, it's an amazing show. It's so funny. And you know, I really want to talk about it because I want people to watch it because this is a great idea. It's, you know, as you said, we need comedies, we need comedy, we need fun stuff, and it's great to see like talented actors, talented artists that come up with ideas like, oh, let's create a character, let's create this, let's create that. And we go for it. And it not only is entertaining, not only that, of course, but I think it's very, very, very inspirational.
Yes, thank you for saying that. At the heart of it, Karula was inspired by a teacher who we had lost, and she was very much into dreams. And so when I read the script, I wasn't prefaced by saying, oh, this is inspired by her, but I said, oh, I see her in this. She's all over this. And so there is that, like, Karula at the core wants to make the world a better place. And something that came about was that one of her idols is, oh, I'm forgetting his name, Mucho Amor. Where is he? He's right here. Let me show you.
Please.
Walter Mercado. You know Walter Mercado? So this is one of her idols. Yeah, and so he's all about love, and like it's more about, I guess, in the Hispanic community. I grew up with my grandmother listening to Walter Mercado give his horoscopes, and he never said anything negative ever. And so this is what Karula was. Karula, as wacky as she is, she just wanted to make the world a better place. She herself was living in the city in lockdown during COVID and going a little nuts, but like also trying to follow her dreams as a seer, because she had left her old job and her mom wants her to be a lawyer. So like, it's really about holding on to your voice, whatever that may be, and spreading love and positivity. So I'm really happy that you saw that in it.
Love it. Yeah, no, not only I saw it, I love it. So okay, let's chat later. Let's see if I can be one of the callers.
Yeah, yes, please. Once we're back on, yes, let's chat later. All you have to do is call in. We don't even have to plan anything. It's all improv.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. Yeah. No problem. All right, fantastic. Let's talk about COVID and cigarettes, and let's talk about the place you were in. Home 3 and Choices.
Yes.
Choices, by the way, is getting a lot of views. So well done, guys.
James is such a great writer. And like, I know he's done a lot of comedy in his, how he started, but he's such a great writer. And then obviously Gail and Yu, holy moly. It was such a fun process.
How did it go? So you basically worked with the playwright who was in New York.
Yes.
But everyone else was in Hong Kong. Gail, the director, and Yu both were in Hong Kong at that time. Not sure where Yu is at the moment. She's probably still in Hong Kong, I'd say, but she's planning to move to New York. Yeah. So, okay, how did it go? was the process for you and everything?
Oh gosh, I didn't know what to expect. It was just so exciting before even knowing them. So exciting to get to work with two artists in Hong Kong. I was very excited to work with James, and it worked out really well. Like it was, Gail is such an amazing director, and I think I sent you an email saying that as well. Like she's just so wonderful and open and collaborative.
Mhm.
Like she let us bring ourselves to it. And Yu is just so amazing. And this just, oh, you can feel her warmth even through a screen, right? So it just felt really easy. Like it felt like we were in a room. It felt like we were in, yeah, like it felt like we were in a room working through, the piece together. And James was able to join us as well, which is something that doesn't happen usually. And he could answer our questions, and he spoke to Gail offline if there was anything. It was just a wonderful experience, and the time zone difference didn't even matter because I have two little kids, so I loved waking up before they got up so that they
Mm.
weren't screaming in the background. I'll knock on wood now that we don't hear them, but it was just a beautiful thing to get to wake up in the morning and start my day with like other artists in a
Mhm.
rehearsal.
Mm.
And to be completely honest, I would wake up 15 minutes beforehand and then I was in rehearsal. It was just a really cool experience. And yeah, one that I'll keep with me forever because that team was just amazing.
That's awesome. I really, when I envisioned the project, I thought, what normally happens in Hong Kong, we're a bit more detached, um, compared to New York, of course. Normally,
Mm,
we would buy a play from some agency, whether it's like whether it's dramatists or the Samuel French, like someone like that. We would buy the play, we would stage it, and zero contact whatsoever with the playwright. We pay for it, we buy it, okay, that's it, like there's no involvement.
right.
But this time I said, if we are to collaborate with people who write their scripts for us, I want the teams to collaborate because this doesn't happen very often. Of course, like if we have the chance to have a playwright in Hong Kong, someone willing to write something and pass it on, and then we work together, okay, that's great. But it doesn't
Right.
happen very often. It happens that we buy and we are in two different continents with two oceans, with like one or two oceans in between. So that's it. But yeah, this is like, I insisted, I said, like, if you can, please work, like, please, director and playwrights, please work together, because it can be very beneficial to the script, to the project, to the team. It can make a huge difference. So I'm glad that you really felt it and it worked out very well for you.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Awesome.
And that's so interesting too, that yeah, normally the playwright wouldn't be involved, and here James is able to like jump in rehearsal. So that's really cool. Yeah,
that
that's really
that's
cool.
excellent. and
Yeah.
and even more, and for the second one you went even more international, because for Home
Yeah.
3 you worked with people from New York. I believe Glenn Altman is in New York as well.
Yes.
Um, then you had Gabrielle, who was in Hong Kong, Helen, who's definitely in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and Joyce and Dakota, who
Yeah.
are in Singapore.
Right.
So you want
Yeah.
like Hong Kong and Singapore, you even stretched it that.
Yeah. And it just like it's amazing what can happen. It's amazing like what theater can do. Like it brought us all together. And that was also a very beautiful experience as well. And not quite a comedy. And so, it was cool to be able to live in those like two different spaces, and the directing team with Joyce and Dakota, like they were just also so open and collaborative as well, where again, it's almost like you forget that you're in front of your computer screen,
Yeah,
because you're sitting down and you're having the chats that you would normally have, in a theater space or at a table in a rehearsal room. And you forget that you're by yourself in a room, you
yes,
know? And
yes,
it was really great working with all of them as well. It was just,
excellent.
yeah, Yeah.
Awesome.
Again, exactly how I want to start my day every day. So
Good, good, good. No, I was very pleased to have Helen involved. She's one of my students. She comes to my acting classes.
she's lovely. She's like such a great actress. And Gabby as well. Like they were just lovely. Oh yeah. Helen also has a cat, right? Helen has a cat who is
Oh yes, Sassy.
Sassy didn't make it on while we were recording, but like every now and then in rehearsal we'd say, "Oh, hi."
We're having online drama classes, like acting classes on Zoom now, because we cannot meet, we cannot gather, and sometimes Sassy makes an appearance, or my cat, whose name is Marty McFly, would also make an appearance. Yeah, my cats need to have name and surname. So the one before was Susie Wong, now it's Marty McFly.
I love that so much. My cat's name is RoboCop.
Robocop. Oh, it suits them because it's gray. It suits them very well.
Yeah.
But it's so sweet, though. So
I feel like we need to make a compilation of cats Zoom bombing in theater
yes,
rehearsals, just
yes,
like a in the background,
yes,
just make a whole
yes.
compilation of it.
I mean, cats want to get involved.
Theater
Good.
cats.
Let's. That's another project. Okay, so we did. Okay, yeah, I'm adding. I'm writing this down.
We have another project. The cats of Zoom cats of theater.
Do that. So, how did you feel when? So you had like this amazing experience in working with both teams.
Yes.
How did you feel when you watched the final cut? So obviously, like we watched it earlier in Hong Kong, because the premiere was 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Hong Kong time, which was 8 a.m. in New York. So of course, like, and it was a Saturday,
Right.
and it was the day of the election, which I wanted to avoid, like the plague. And guess what? We stumbled right into it because of COVID. Things like got delayed, took forever. We were like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right, the election is still in the show. Okay, fine. But not quite what I had planned. But no, we were out there. We were like, watching and everything. So I'm assuming you perhaps like watched it afterwards with your family, with your friends. How did you feel when you saw everything like right in front of you? How was it for you?
Oh, it was really cool. You know what? I think it was just kind of perfect that that's when it aired with the elections here, because it was, it's again, people need and currently need a distraction. And like, I was just happy to, I was actually in Georgia at the time when it aired, because I was, Coley, Coley? Coley is someone, it's the Coley company, had written a comedy, and I went to Georgia and we filmed there. So speaking of comedy, needing comedy. So I actually watched it. I had forgotten that it was airing. I watched it late at night in one of Coley's rooms, and I had the nerves from the election, and we were waiting, and all this stuff. And so I was just very happy to watch it at that time, because I had been waiting for it. So it was like a gift, but also seeing it all come together exceeded my expectations. I already knew I was going to love it, because, we sort of get an idea of what it's going to look like when we're just on screen. You can see yourself if you'd like, or cover your face, but you get a sort of idea. But it's so cool that you can combine like the film aspect with theater, which like doesn't happen. You don't record theater. Like once you're done, it's done, right? And you get that sort of like pit in your stomach when the project is over, and you're like, wow, I wish I could just see it. But there's no way to do that. And so it was just kind of cool that.
But you can if you have like a friend with a camera, but it's not going to be like very,
It loses it, right? It's almost like you don't want to see it, because it's like, well, we're not capturing everything that happened on stage, because, it just doesn't work. But here with Zoom, you're so close, and like the directors help you to work with your space. And I was just really impressed by it. I was really impressed that you can, edit video together to make it theater, but then it still feels like theater. and just the pieces were so great. And you know,
Did
I'm
you watch
happy that
all
I
of
can
them?
still happen. I watched a lot of them. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You got a week. You got a week.
I have a week. I know. But yeah, really, really great work. And it's just so cool. It's just so cool. This new medium that we have for theater.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
We have it. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see why we have to stop either. I mean, it's cost effective, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
it
know?
breaks the barriers. I mean, like we get to work with people from all over the place, with wonderful, talented artists like
Yeah.
you, like
Oh,
lots of people that we know.
right.
You know, like and people are so willing to participate. To like the moment that I send the email to our lab family, you and Nicole Noller
Yeah.
were like, right, we're in. Dipti,
Yeah.
we're in. Yeah, here. Check this out. Wow. Okay, you guys were ready. And plus others said like others who replied saying, oh, I wish I could, but I'm busy with other things. But great that we are getting back in contact, you know, like this kind of thing. So it's always like in 1 week, I probably contacted you guys 3 times. I'm like, yeah, we don't talk for years. And then all of a sudden in 1 week, yay, 3 emails.
Oh, I
I
love
love
it.
this.
I love it. So, and that's just like the thing, like with good friends, right? Like if with your theater family, you can go a year, you can go however long it may be, but as soon as you're back in contact, like I feel like I just saw you yesterday
Yeah,
making animal
exactly.
noises with our luggage outside of the, it's theater. There's something so special about the theater community that,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I guess to people outside of the theater community, it could only be described as it's your close family. You
Yeah.
just immediately have this thing. As soon as you get into a rehearsal room with any other artist, you're immediately family. And
Yeah. Yes. And we'll never lose that, even if it was like many
no,
years ago. We'll never lose it.
no.
So,
And we can still get it from Zoom. And
yes.
I learned that from Choices in Home 3. I
Yeah.
have 2 new little mini theater families from that, and I'm really
Yes.
grateful.
Well, now you
Yeah.
have a family in Hong Kong. So there you
Yeah,
go.
how cool is that? It sounds really cool. I should, I have a theater family in Hong Kong. I can tell people that.
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
international.
Add that to the list.
Yeah.
So let's talk about COVID-19.
Hmm.
And let's talk about, you know, you're an artist, you're very active in New York. How did COVID-19 affect your plans, whether in terms of arts, personal or otherwise?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I guess life is what happens when you're busy making plans, right? So uh oof, there was a project that was supposed to happen in December that was put off. There were a lot of things that were put on hold. But I feel like and my career wise looked a lot different. I feel like I was very active leading up to this pandemic, and that sort of, and not just theater, just in auditioning for everything. And I'm grateful that I was working a lot, but that sort of stopped. And I think that I just went into let it be mode. And so I stopped making plans. Whatever projects were going to happen, I just said yes to everything. And I'm just so grateful that I did. And I just let it be. And I just took this time to be with my family, be with my children, and then work on, whatever I could. But, like I said, auditions are happening again and starting up and all of that. And I guess when it's safe, these projects that were put on hold will come back, and, just let it be, just let it be. And I do lately, now that the vaccine's out and we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I'm almost feeling like I need to hold on tight to my family, because when are we ever going to be in this space together? Like, together. My husband's working from home, I'm working from home, my children are home, my daughter's in virtual school. So when else are we going to have this time where we can just wake up together? And like, if we want to be in our PJs all day, it doesn't really matter, So I guess that was a long-winded answer, but it's just a lot of things have been put on hold. But been very, very, very grateful to still have this community to do things virtually.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the main blessing.
Yeah.
And so when COVID is over, what is the first thing that you would like to do?
You know, I haven't, my family moved to New Jersey, not too far outside of the city. But we haven't been back to the city. And, you know, we probably could do that safely. I'm missing my family that lives, or missing my friends so much. I don't know that I'd be quick to like go to a restaurant. I think that's gonna like for some. I feel like I'm gonna have to take baby steps into that.
Mm.
But I do want to just go and visit my family and friends. I have cousins that I haven't seen, you know, for almost a year now. So I would love to just do that, and just to, you know, maybe walk around outside in the city, even if I'm not, um, you know, entering establishments. Or there's a food truck that I love when I lived in Astoria called King of Falafel, and I would give my right leg right now to have that. So maybe we just stop at the food truck. Really simple
Right.
things, but it's mostly just seeing the people that I miss.
Yeah, sure. I think in Hong Kong we have it slightly easier because Hong Kong has been in and out of these waves.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, whenever a wave hit, we were the first to go through.
Okay.
So right now we are at wave number 4. You guys are at number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, catch up.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll be there. I know.
Yeah. But sometimes we're lucky that the cases go down, things start to go back to normal, things pick up, we go, okay, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, and we get to do something for like 2 months or a few weeks.
Right.
So in those windows, I had the chance to stage a show. That was March.
Oh, cool.
Stage a fundraising for Australia for the bushfires. Okay,
Wow.
that was February. Then what do, oh, celebrating my birthday.
Oh,
So I
happy
got to do
COVID
that.
birthday.
Yes. And then what else? Oh, finally restarting my acting classes in a classroom with
Oh, wow.
masks and everything, you know, distancing and stuff, but at least we're doing it. And going out and gathering and going to the movies.
What is that?
I know. And then all of a sudden, right, uh, like 150 cases a day, right, we got to shut down. Where do they
Yeah,
even come from, these cases?
right.
Why?
Right. Oh, but you were able to have little tastes of them. I'm happy you had that during your birthday though.
Yes, no, that I was so lucky.
Yeah. And then you're back down to
Yeah, at
six
least if
floor
not,
walls.
yeah, no, if nothing else, it lifted the mood. And you know,
Yeah.
summer in Hong Kong is really long. We have like 8 months of summer, but it's not always nice because, like, imagine summer in Florida multiplied 2 times.
Right. It's really
Right.
hot. Is it very humid as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Incredibly humid. That's why I used Florida as a reference because it's as
okay.
humid as Hong
Yeah,
Kong. That's why.
humid.
Just as
Okay.
bad. And then in July and August, they shut everything down. So you couldn't go to the beach, you couldn't go to the pool, you couldn't go to the park. We were like
Yeah.
dying of heat.
Yeah.
And the only feasible thing to do was like stay indoors in the aircon because like where do you want to go?
Right.
With a
So
mask.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know, of course you have to wear it. It's mandatory here. It's not a choice. You have to wear it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. I don't have a problem with that. But just like sweat, like pouring. Ugh, disgusting. So
Oh
gross.
yeah. I don't think it had gotten so hot where we were wearing a mask and I'm like feeling that sweat. Although I wasn't outside very much at all
Right,
this year.
right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I
No,
could
I think
imagine that in the sweltering heat with the humidity, and then you have a mask like stuck
torture.
to your face.
Yeah, like scorching heat. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
I have been more aware of, maybe I need a piece of gum. I have been aware of that more, wearing my mask. Like, maybe my breath is not so fresh all the time. You're just right here with your breath.
He just hides it. It's okay. Even if you have
That's it,
salad
right?
between your teeth, it's no
Ooh,
problem. It's all good. Yeah, no, I know. It's been like in and out for us, but I'm still
Yeah.
grateful because like we were in a very safe part of the planet despite all the hiccups. So um
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, we didn't do such a great job here of like locking it down fast enough and all of that. And it being like it was just such a shock. I
no,
feel like now it feels very normal. Like you put on your mask, you go outside and, this feels very normal, but uh, depending on where you are in this country, not everyone's following the rules. And so here we are with our numbers.
mm,
I don't know
well,
how anyone could think this is fake, but I
look at
won't go there.
look at Europe, England in a huge lockdown. We can't go and visit our relatives.
Right, right.
Normally, I would go to England every year, every Christmas. And yeah, this year we had a Zoom gathering, family gathering on Zoom because yeah, even like my relatives are in different parts of England and they can't go and see each other because it's a different county. They're not allowed to step out of their county.
Gosh, it's so hard. That gave me goosebumps all over my body because I feel like I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but I've had like Zoom calls with my dad's family and calls with family members, but I come from two really large families who have been pretty separate. And I feel like it's almost easier for artists to connect on Zoom because we're so open that we can just like do this thing right away. But when I'm on like video calls with my family, I feel like it's not as easy to do. Like it's not as easy to do. Like we can just tap into it, and there's, that's a rather general comment, but I feel like it's harder to connect with my family the way that we would in
Sure.
person on video call.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And my parents are in Italy, and again, same thing. Couldn't go. I haven't seen my parents in
Oh
like
my
a
God.
year.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm saying hopefully soon. I'm trying to stay strong and everything.
Yeah.
Not always easy, but we try. We do try because like surrendering to, you know, um, the bad things of that would make it worse. So let's
Right.
just keep it up with the arts, with comedy, with whatever we have accessible that brings
Right.
us joy and laughter. You know. So
Right.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. Because we haven't seen my in-laws, for example, and like that's really hard. And we couldn't see them for the so I get I've been able to see my parents safely. So I hope you could see your parents soon and your family. It'll
Thank you.
happen. Yeah, it'll happen soon. You can hug them. Imagine what that'll be like when you get
Yeah,
to hug.
God, can't imagine, but yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
it'll be
great. Be
yeah.
wonderful. All righty. So, a couple of more questions for you. Let's talk about your preferences in terms of theatre. So, tell us, do you have a favorite play or playwright?
Oh my gosh. I love Tennessee Williams.
Hmm.
Tennessee Williams. Um, I think that's just popping into my mind now because I'm looking at my books and that's what I've been gravitating towards. Um, William Inge. I love oh gosh. What is the playwright that I got to work on Roger and Vanessa for my thesis? Forgetting his name. Hold on, I'm gonna Google right now. Sometimes when I try to think of names, I can't remember
Yeah,
anything,
no, it
especially
happens to me all the time.
um,
What did you write?
hold on, Roger and Vanessa. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh. Brett C. Leonard, duh. Okay. That was probably my favorite
Okay.
play that I've ever worked on. Because it's just so it's like it's about this couple. They live in the Bronx, and it's a twofer, and it's just really beautiful and natural writing, and a bit of comedy as well, but like the heavy drama. I think that's just what I gravitate towards. I love the types of plays where when you're in the process, you get to have that gut-wrenching moment, and then the director says, great, I'm happy we did that. That's not what's going to end up on stage because that was like really gut-wrenching, but like we're getting to the underbelly, that type of play. I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But my favorite playwright of all time is Tennessee Williams. What
That
about yours?
is, yeah. I'm
I know
divided.
it's hard, right?
It's hard, but I'd say my favorite choices, which I would normally go for, David Mamet, Stephen Gerges,
Oh yeah.
Arthur Miller.
Yes.
I'd say if I look at like classics, yeah. So, my favorite play would be definitely The Last Days of Judas Iscariot by Stephen Gerges. Yeah.
Did your theater company do that play?
Yeah.
Do I remember seeing something? Yeah, I remember seeing. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
yeah,
We did.
very cool.
Yeah. That and another one. And there was another one that I wanted to do, but when?
Yeah,
You know,
it'll happen.
I mean, you can always like I'm sure as we said before, artists are adaptable, so say we want to get in touch with Steven and say, can you adapt this for the Zoom? Can we do this on Zoom? Can we do anything else on Zoom that you'd like to, you have it ready? But yeah, I can't wait to go back to the stage, even though I'm loving like the fact that there are no barriers at the moment, but I still want to go back on stage. So yeah, there's quite a few things that I would like to do, but I'm not sure I will be able to because I'm also maybe leaving Hong Kong soon.
Oh, really? To where?
London.
Really? Okay, so you'll be with your family. You have family there, right?
Closer to the family, but also like, London is very, very, very theater oriented. Hong Kong is very business oriented, which is okay because you can work in the arts in Hong Kong, which makes you very unique. And, you develop a unique voice and, like there's an attractive community here. But in London, it'd be bigger. So let's say that if you want to grow as an artist, I'd say, maybe time to move. And I'd love to go to New York. I'd love that. But I've also have to consider to the other side, my husband.
Right.
So England will be much easier. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting.
Plus we're close to New York. 6 hours of flight versus 18.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, do you remember how knackered I was when I took that bottle?
I mean, I think that's why we were doing animal noises because we were
Give me
outside
up.
with our luggage and just in a weird state, and you were like,
yeah, I was like, what animal is that? A Tasmanian devil.
No, that's cool.
No, it's far
on the horizon. That's an exciting move.
Yeah. So I don't know if it will happen the plan is maybe 6-8 months, but of course, like I'm not gonna leave a decent situation to walk into a raw mess. So I will need to see how things evolve and go. The plan is to go. Whether I go this year or next, it doesn't really matter. I will go, but it has to be in the right way because in Hong Kong, we're pretty safe. We're overall pretty safe.
Yeah.
I do go out for meetings for whatever things I need to do. In England, they don't dare going out. So that's a bit.
So right in this moment wouldn't be the time, where you're somewhere safe. That makes sense.
So we'll see with the vaccines and everything. My family just got some. So let's see.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. They already got it. Yeah.
Oh, so happy to hear that. Well, that's great. And honestly, like, what is time really? I feel like now within this pandemic, like time is such an interesting thing. Like I don't even know how much time has passed. So it's like, what is an extra couple months or so, right? Or like whatever time it may take until you can move. What is it really?
It doesn't make any difference. Now, like time has been put on hold. So
Yeah,
I
there's no
just,
such thing as time.
like my priority is to stay alive while the time is paused so
Right.
that when we resume, I can enjoy. Because if you die, like if I die, if one dies before, really? Crap. That's unfair. That's not fair. You guys paused it.
You pause, but we're on pause.
Like,
But that's an interesting thing that you say, while our lives are on pause. And I think that like even when things start up, I kind of want to live like my life is on pause, because there's no pressure. And like, why do we put all the pressure, especially when we're doing things that are artistic and should come and speak to your soul and, are like a life force. I kind of want to do that too. Just feel like I'm on pause always, never have any sort of expectations or anything. And then I wonder what would happen then.
exactly.
Because life
Exactly.
will still go on, projects, work, all that still happens, but without the pressure, it's kind of makes
Exactly.
it more enjoyable.
Because we are at the end of the year, because like we started with interviews like as soon as COVID and cigarettes started, but of course like there's a lot of people. So now that
Yeah.
we are at the end of the year, we can maybe talk about this. What is the most important lesson that 2020 has taught you?
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
I think that the reason that when you said pause, why that spoke to me so much is to stop and breathe, to just really stop and breathe and stay in touch with what really matters, because I think we can be so go go go, and like you're in a city. I'm in I used to live in a city. I'm just outside of it, but just taking a step away from there, just to take a breath and like and work on things that speak to my soul rather than work on things just to keep busy, where I feel like I used to do that. And I now, like I said, I've said yes to everything, but that was like a little bit of a lie. Like I had to say no to some things, because uh, I said yes to a lot, but the things that I would have to say no to were like, could you do this right now in this moment? And if I would say, is it worth being away from my kids? And if the answer was no, then I would say no. And I think I'm going to keep that. I think it's artistically, I want to do things that speak to my soul, and it's usually almost everything. And I really just want to make sure that, as morbid as it sounds, but I always think about what this pandemic has made me think about is when I'm in my deathbed, am I going to say, yeah, I did it right? And and I just want to make sure that and I think that at the end of this lifetime that I have, the most important thing will be, is my art making a difference in the world? And did I give my children the best life they could possibly have? And as long as like what I'm doing currently answers that question as a yes, then that's what I want to do. So when it gets busy, I don't want to be so a cog. I don't want to be, like a machine.
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I used to have to feel like I was doing something constantly every second. Whereas now I want to just like find time to maybe take a little cat nap in the day. Like, why not?
Precious.
Yeah. What
Exactly.
about you?
Well, I'd say 2020 has taught me that, you've got to prioritize yourself and you've got to prioritize your health.
Yeah.
And you've got to learn how to say no and
Mm.
take a breather.
Yeah.
And, it has also taught me quality over quantity. So as you said, like you say yes to things because you've got to work. So you have to, like a lot of times we feel like we have to, especially when we work for ourselves, when we need gigs in to make a living and so forth. But also I realized how important health and family are. We take them for granted, but no, one should never do that. So I realized that it's okay to slow down and it's okay to prioritize. So I hope that I will be able to carry this on as the year like the new year comes and as things progress and improve, because it's easy to get caught up again in the same thing once everything goes back to normal, if we can call it normal. But
Right.
the thing is, I have learned something important and I want to continue that way. My health comes first. My head comes first. My mental stability comes first. Family. So yeah, I share the same idea with you, really.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love that. And I love that, like, this conversation, I feel like a lot of people feel that way. And like, how could we, the entire world, how could we not come out better from all of this if we're all feeling this way now? A lot of, like, everybody seems to be cognizant of how easy it might be to just go back to it, and nobody wants to do it. So I feel like, at the very least, there's more love in the world, and there's more thoughtfulness, I think, in general.
I'd say the world is like, okay, if you look at the bigger picture, I mean, we can say, okay, if we don't look at the bigger picture, we say the world is in a bad place. But actually it's not.
Yeah.
Think about how much the world has improved. The crime rate has gone down. Nature has reclaimed its place. The environment is benefiting from all this. So is that really bad? Maybe it's bad for our daily lives, but by looking at the bigger picture, probably it's not as bad as we think.
Right.
So
And yeah, I mean, like, obviously people lost loved ones, and that's just heart-wrenching. And my thoughts and prayers and love go out to anyone who's lost anyone. Um, I think that our world needed some healing.
yeah,
And I think that, I'm sure collectively people were praying to, and I'm not just saying to their gods. And I think there was a lot of energy going out, like saying, can we please be healed?
yeah,
And I don't know if Mother Nature just answered and said, here's what I got. Now, like,
yeah,
pay
yeah.
attention to your families, stay healthy, heal your soul, heal yourselves, heal the world. And like, and for God's sake, stop hurting me. Like, there's a body of water by where my parents live. And it was sort of like a throughway that can lead to the city. But it was rather polluted. And
Mm,
my parents sent me a picture of this water, and it was, I don't know, maybe 2 months into the lockdown and the water was clear. And they
wow.
said, how did that happen in just 2 months? Like, what were we doing? You
Mm,
know, and, and it was just that there wasn't all this, throughway and boats leaking and all of that. So I'm grateful that we can help
it,
Mother
yeah,
Nature so we can stop our bold shit.
important, absolutely.
Yeah.
There were goats and deer roaming around different parts of the UK, dolphins in Italy. I believe it was in Sicily or Sardinia, somewhere around like that. We haven't had like dolphins for like 50 years, maybe longer. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, amazing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And I think that, like, I always thought that I was a bit of an environmentalist, but like here I'm thinking about my footprint, and I didn't realize like how much plastic my household's using. So like we're working on that. But like, it's like we can say that we care about the environment. We can donate, we can, use reusable glasses, but like, or bottles, but like, what are we really doing? We're still the garbage that goes out of our house because we're here, like it's overwhelming. We're working on it, but like I think
Mm,
this time has also let us reflect on that, like what kind of footprint are we leaving behind. Like we
yeah.
have now, we're turning everything into an art project with my daughter, so we could just try to reuse like the cans or
Why
whatever it may
not?
be.
Exactly. Reuse, reduce,
Yeah.
recycle. There you go. When you can, of course, like there are limitations, but I think one tries their best
Right.
and,
Yeah.
do one does what one can. So, and
It's so
it's,
damn convenient now, though. Like I'm like, I'll complain about Amazon and their packaging, but I'm ordering from them every other day. It's so hard.
gosh, no, with like We don't do Amazon because Amazon is too far, and most of the times they don't deliver in Hong Kong. But we have Taobao, which is like the Amazon from China, and we have ASOS, which is
Okay.
from the UK. Yeah, again,
It's still,
they
yeah.
use so ridiculous. Like whatever you get, like it's plastic wrapping, but
Yes.
I know, but they're becoming a bit more conscious now. Apparently, the wrappings are biodegradable. So
Oh,
okay,
good.
all right,
Okay. It's
that's
something.
something.
It's something.
That's
Or
something.
can you do the thing where you combine your orders for like a certain day so there's less packaging? That's something that they've been doing as well, which we'll do. I'm like, okay, I can wait an extra 2 days for my whatever it is I need. That's not so important.
That's a good idea, actually. That's a good idea. No,
Yeah.
we haven't thought about it because, like,
Yeah.
the Hong Kong society is pretty spoiled and pretty selfish overall.
Mhm.
Um, People go like, it's like we have a landfill in Hong Kong. We don't need to recycle. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of money. Just toss everything in the landfill. It'll be fine. It'll just stay there. Sure, but the problem is that eventually something will fall into the ocean, and that's what bothers me big time.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
because in Hong Kong we don't have the incinerator, so
Oh. So it just goes into a great big pile
yeah,
and just seeps into our
and,
earth and
yeah,
like doesn't decompose. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, we need to have like a landfill as big as Hong Kong almost, because
Right.
like
In order to accommodate all the waste. Yeah.
we create so much waste. And now, thankfully, by going out less, maybe we create less waste,
Right.
maybe. But then again, people don't really have the concept or the habit of cooking. So it's a lot of takeaway food. It's a lot of like orders. And again, lots of paper, lots of
Lots
plastic.
of paper, plastic, utensils, and like
Exactly.
we've ordered here too, and we'll put please no plastic utensils. Don't send anything. Like you're sending it to our home, and we have everything here. But it's about the habit that people have,
Mm,
right? You have to be, give them a break because like these people who are working there, packaging and having to bring it out, like it's just there's not really thought behind it, and so they just quickly package it up because that's what we're used to. So I feel like once the habits start to change, hopefully we'll see a little more of a change. It's just second nature to throw a bunch of plastic utensils and bring it, which I'm grateful for because then we have dinner. But I think it's just the
sure.
habit of things. I have a lot of those habits as well. I mean, here we're talking and I have a plastic bottle right next to me. Hypocrite.
There you go. I mean, like in the UK, it's quite well organized that the council will give you different containers, different containers where you put like you divide all your rubbish, including compost,
Oh, yeah.
including the organic compost, so that can be transformed into something
Yeah,
fertilizer, most likely.
right.
So it's better because here we don't do that. So I mean, for that thing, for these kind of things, Hong Kong is like light years behind. It's really, really backwards. So you really need to be aware of things and try your best because no one else will do it for you.
Wow, that's incredible. So you can try to be as green as possible, but when all your garbage is going to one place anyway,
Yeah.
that's tough.
But the
Are
good,
there talks of that changing?
but the good thing is we don't take cars. At least us, we don't. Like a lot of
Oh,
people, especially a lot of expats,
yeah.
use public transports, especially if
Oh,
you live in town. You do not need a car.
yeah.
So that
That's
helps.
great.
That
That's
helps a little
very
bit.
helpful. Yeah, that's really helpful.
So yeah.
Goodness.
Plus we have the biggest amount of Teslas going around now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're so cool, those cars. My brother
Yeah,
just got.
they are. But the argument is, what's better for the environment, to buy a secondhand car or to buy a brand new Tesla?
That's interesting. Like, which is more like the emissions, or then also the process of building that brand new car?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they haven't figured out yet what happens to the old Teslas when the computer engine, no, it's not an engine, but whatever,
Yeah.
the thing that uses is, what are you going to do with that when it runs out? Where are you going to put it?
You
Yeah,
can the parts be recycled, or yeah, I don't know.
don't think they have figured that part out yet. I'm sure they're getting there, but yeah. So
my brother just sent me a video the other day. He was in his Tesla. There's a feature that you can make it sound like an ice cream truck, and so he made it sound like an ice cream truck. I said, "Don't do that! You can torture the children." But how
nice.
cool. Or like living in the jet. Did you remember the Jetsons? Did you ever watch the Jetsons?
Yes, gosh, yes.
I'm obviously
We
aging
had
myself.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like living it. We are the Jetsons now. It's
Can't
like,
remember that show. Wow.
there are going to be people watching like, who are the Jetsons?
I know. I remember, yeah, when I went to Seattle, I was at the Music Project Museum, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name now. And we were in the grunge section, and there was this little kid, like me and another couple of people were like drooling
Yeah,
over
so
things.
cool. Yeah.
This little kid, Daddy, what's Nirvana? Who's Kurt Cobain? Daddy, what's that? I'm like, oh gosh. Oh, I'm feeling ancient right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I know I've had so many of those conversations already. Like, who is that? I'm like, just my teen idol, no big deal. You're old. Yep.
Compared to you, yes.
My daughter's still like, how old are you? 15? Because the age, the concept of age is like, I'm like, no, I'm the age that I am. I won't say it right now. I mean, not that I really care.
Younger than your grandmother.
I'm 37. I'm 37. I'll be 38 in January. And she's like, it doesn't compute for her because she's 5. She's like, how many 5s go into that? I'm like, forget it. I'm 15. I'm 15, okay?
Yeah, no, yeah, kids are honest.
Yeah. What?
That's hilarious. Alrighty, well, I guess that's the end of our interview.
It was
It
so
was
much
lovely.
fun.
It was lovely to have you. So this is Nicole Garbellini chatting with Kim Berrios Lynn from New York / New Jersey here at the Interview Diaries for COVID and Cigarettes. So if you haven't watched the show, please watch it. You have 1 week left. No more excuses now. And don't forget to check out Choices and Home 3, especially where you can see Kim in action. So that's all from our side. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care.
Thank you so much.